Wrapping up the action on Sunday with Sunday Night Football was the Tom Brady-led Tampa Bay Buccaneers looking to posture themselves for the top NFC playoff spot going up against division rival New Orleans. In this game, obviously down in Tampa. And the Saints, their defense came to play in this contest. They actually took Tom Brady's team and shut him out for the first time since 2006 when he was a member of the New England Patriots, shut out by the Miami Dolphins. 9-0 was the total in the final score on Sunday Night Football. To talk about it, Ross Jackson, Locked On Saints, Locked On NFL, joins us here on the podcast. And Ross, Brady, he lost some key playmakers in this contest. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and of course, running back Leonard Fournette. I don't know why I stumbled on his name there. It's a pretty simple one to say, but Fournette out there, no playoff Lenny. But the Saints defensively, they were shutting the Bucs down before those playmakers even exited.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, like there's no pretending that those three players not being there for Tom Brady and for Tampa Bay didn't factor in, right? Like that very clearly factored in. But even before that, you could see the New Orleans Saints rattling Tom Brady and doing what it is that they've just continued to do for whatever reason better than any other team or better than any other defense in the NFL. There's just something about this New Orleans Saints defense and the way that they prepare for Tom Brady and his weapons that has just been incredibly effective. They end up turning him over again in this one, almost turned him over on the first pass of the game, but they get the fumble on him late and then they end up getting 4 sacks in this one. I mean, they have done a very, very good job of, turning him over and making sure that they're keeping him uncomfortable, putting him on the move. And that was a big, big piece of why the Saints defense and therefore the New Orleans Saints so successful in this game.
Yeah, and they mentioned on the broadcast, and Chris Collinsworth made a good point. The rest of the league is going to just comb through this tape about how they were able to do it. But it's been there before. They've had success against Brady before. How come Dennis Allen's defense is able to have that success? Is it just personnel? Is it just the scheme? What is it, in your opinion, that the Saints are able to do it and other teams struggle with it?
Yeah, personnel is a big part of it. I mean, outside of Tom Brady, the New Orleans Saints have been building their team around trying to limit and compete within the division and compete with a team like Tampa Bay's receivers for years now. I mean, they've been building this defense to be able to, hang around with athletic running backs like Christian McCaffrey, but then stand up with big physical wide receivers like Mike Evans, and then also build toward the nickel and the slot to be able to defend guys like Chris Godwin. So they've done a really remarkable job at making sure that they built a team that can be competitive within division, and part of that is building one that's geared towards taking away Tom Brady's weapons. CJ Gardner-Johnson spoke with media before this game earlier on in the week and mentioned, like, look, Tom Brady's going to call your bluff 3 hours before the game starts. I mean, you're not going to show him anything that he hasn't seen before. So it comes down to X's and O's, knowing their tendencies and matching up well with his weapons.
A big knock to the Bucs trying to get that top NFC playoff spot. But for the Saints, they go to 7-7. They're right in the thick of this NFC playoff picture. We look at this offense, and Taysom Hill and the Saints offense, not exactly the best day either. Pretty quiet, awful on third down. What was it? 3 for 16. Mm-hmm. Just a trio of field goals, but no turnovers. Is that just the key to the game, though, for that offense? Just take care of the football, let that defense kind of do the work.
Yeah, and you certainly saw them be a lot more aggressive on the offensive side during the first half of this game. Interim head coach Dennis Allen, because of course Sean Payton wasn't able to be a part of this game as he was on the COVID IR list, or COVID reserve list, excuse me. And so he was watching from home. Dennis Allen spoke after the game and mentioned that they sort of shifted to a bit of a ball control approach in the second half, and you certainly saw that. Taysom Hill completing 7 of 11 passes in the second half for just over 50 yards. I mean, they did not go overly aggressive in the second half. So for this one, in terms of judging the Saints offense, I'll wait to see what they look like next week up against the Miami Dolphins. But for this one, I think that they did a good job at least protecting the ball and holding on to the ball, not creating any unnecessary turnovers and getting any additional possessions to that Tom Brady-led offense, which could have given them the momentum or the rhythm that they were trying to strike and struggled to strike against this Saints defense throughout.
Yeah, I'm glad the Saints went with Dennis Allen kind of running the ship, and we didn't have to see Kevin James go method actor. Of course, he's coming up in the Netflix movies, about with Sean Payton and his time away from the Saints. I'm just glad they didn't go that direction.
Yeah, I hear Kevin James is busy doing his studies for the next movie that'll come out, which will be what Sean Payton did during quarantine over the course of this week. So they'll need Kevin James ready for that one, of course.
Oh, the sequel. We're a highly anticipated sequel, that's for sure. Thank you, Ross. Appreciate it, man.
Absolutely, buddy.